Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 13 of our Yin Yoga class. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me. If you can't, please do tell me. I apologize for yesterday's blackness. We can think it was done in the Chitakasha realm. That is, of course, that black space in the third eyebrow center, the place we sometimes go to in our Shavasana. Nonetheless, today's practice will again be a adult Yin class, approximately 60 minutes. We can meet the 7 p.m. honoring, essentially, of what is happening and all of the people who are sacrificing their time and indeed their lives. So continue to speak, come into your breath, come into your body, close your eyes. With every inhale, sitting a little bit taller. With every exhale, letting the shoulders slump down the back. Coming into your own breath, starting to feel the spaces being created in your body. As you continue to breathe, lengthening the exhale to be twice as long as the inhalation. Visualize a balloon in your belly getting bigger, making your body softer and lighter with every breath. Extending the exhale to be twice as long as the inhalation. Taking your focus not only into your belly, into your ribs, into the thoracic, the clavicular, the face, indeed the crown of the head. Allow the breath to come into the body through any entry pathway, through any pore. Allow that sensation of osmosis, that permeation of the entire physical core, just absorbing oxygen and prana. Prana, chi, or vital life energy is, of course, best introduced to the body through the breath, but it is not the only way. As you continue to breathe, we'll begin with alternative nostril breath. So assuming you have watched previous videos, you will be familiar with the breath. If you need a quick reminder, taking your right hand, unless you're left-handed, then of course your left is fine. Right hand folding down the second and third finger. The right thumb is going to press against the right nostril. We're going to inhale left, close left, open right, exhale through the right nostril completely. Hold for just a moment and then inhale right, close right, exhale left. And follow that same sort of alternative nostril breathing. Okay? If you do feel dizzy at any point, come down into a child's position and relax. Find your normal breath. Otherwise, we'll do 5 or 6 rounds of this, following your own pace. Again, trying to slow down your breath. When you are ready, folding the right thumb into the right nostril and inhaling left completely. Nice deep breath. Close left, open right, and exhale. Still exhaling to be twice as long as your inhalation. And again, inhaling up. Close right, open left, and exhale down. Now you may feel there's a bit of congestion in your nose. Follow your own breath, inhaling left. You may need to take a stop to blow your nose, closing and exhaling right. Keep following this same rhythm, inhaling right. And if you are sick or having allergic reactions at this time, then of course you may not be able to complete this. Then just maintain your regular breath. Otherwise, inhaling deeply, feeling the balance, sense of equilibrium coming across the body, changing nostrils, and slowing down each subsequent breath. A few more times, inhaling up. Closing, switching, exhaling. Good. Let's allow the hands to come down onto the knees. Take a moment just to feel the effects, very powerful effects of just 2 minutes of practice. You can imagine what a longer daily practice would do to the body as well as the mind. Coming into our movement now on your next exhale, hands falling from the knees, inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows open, fingers are stretching, everything opening. Inhaling, touch the tips of the fingers and slowly come down. Imagine your arms are extending outward as though they're little missiles shooting outside the body. Again, inhaling up. Every breath becomes a little bit more slow than the last. Exhaling down. And one more all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. This time let's come down to T shape. So halfway, palms turned facing upward. Take just a few moments, see how quickly your arms want to fall down. Fight that feeling of giving in and giving up. Feel the breath giving strength against gravity. And we will stretch out our shoulders here. So we're going to take the left arm, folding it across, the right arm coming up, and just a bit of a tug, a bit of leverage, and inhaling one big breath as we expand. And as we contract, opposite arm coming over, opposite hand to the opposite elbow, and twisting. Try to keep the rest of the body turning in the opposite direction to give a bit of balance to the pose. Inhaling back to center. Again, left arm coming up, right hand to the left elbow and pulling down. Again, we may have tight shoulders. If you want, you can use a strap here and just kind of start to open that space. Otherwise, coming back down to the side, inhaling, arms up, and again, pulling into that space. And arms out to the side, stretching out the neck. So left fingers to the outside of the right temple, right hand coming down, palm facing down, chin to the chest, nodding yes. And opposite side, sunrise those arms all the way over, tips of the fingers, find the soft temple spot, and exhale, arm down. You can tent the fingers or flatten the palm, chin to the chest, nodding that positive mantra, and inhaling up, both arms, T shape, and exhale, palms down, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhaling, drop the shoulders, lift the arms. Once you find your edge, keeping the palms squeezing together, exhale, forward fold, coming down just for a few deep breaths. Make sure you're balanced in the hips. You can adjust the legs, opening them a little bit wider if you need, and if you would like them to come actually out quite far, that's fine as well. Wherever you feel, and inhaling up. Now, wherever your legs were, as we come into a reverse, a quick counter position, palms flattened, toes pointing towards the feet. Let's bend the knees just about halfway, nice and open legs as well. We don't want to put too much pressure on the knees at this point. Inhale with nice wide legs, tucking your bottom under, push into the hands. One big breath here and exhaling down. Good. Okay, now let's stretch the legs out all the way. And again, if you feel a bit off balance, don't yank one side and oink, yank the other side. Lift both legs up, lift or both hips up, and play with the feet. Kind of roll the back of the heels and then open the femurs, toes pointing outward, and really drop your bottom down. Put the pelvic floor as flat as you can. Develop a new sensation of sitting. That's where your root chakra is, and all of the energy, kind of creative energy, rests in that area. Now, sitting nice and tall. If you would like to sit against the wall or cushion under the bottom, if you need a bit of support. When you're ready, inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows open, tips of the fingers together. Let's have the left hand come to the left foot. And if it's the left knee, wherever you happen to find your edge, that's fine. And keep opening and also coming back. So those three different movements, right? We're lifting, opening, and rounding over, making sure the shoulders stay stacked, the hips stay grounded. Breathing, and on your next inhale, coming up, same thing on the opposite side. So a slight little twist just to line up the hand to the feet. Inhale, lift, breathing. And you can't really get the full stretch until you breathe into it. So don't leave here until you get at least 1 or 2 deep breaths in. And feel that division between the upper and lower body. Inhale, coming up. And again, let's hold this for a moment. Palms facing upward, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows open. Coming to a slight twist, so coming first with left arm forward, coming to the right toes. And with a bit of a torque, let's turn and inhale back to center and opposite side. Grasping again wherever you feel is your edge, and you can use a strap at any point to lengthen your limbs. And breathing deeply. And exhale, coming back to center. We'll come into our first yin hold here, and it will be a forward bend. I think we'll come into a butterfly. So soles of the feet together, nice and tight to the hips. If you'd like to sit on a block, a mat, rolling the mat over anything that will help you open the knees and lift your hips. Coming into your body when you're ready, inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, and exhale, forward fold. And again, you can use a block here if you'd like. If your head does not quite come down, use a block, use 2 blocks, a bolster, use pillows, sit against the wall, or even have the couch here or a chair right in front of you. Otherwise, some people do like having that neck lengthening. So whatever works best for you, I am your guide, your body is your teacher. Wake up that sense of listening in the body, and we are going to hold this for 2 minutes only. So while this is our first forward bend, our first yin pose, 2 minutes is still on the lower end of time to hold a yin position. Again, just keeping the seat of the observer in the body, feeling temperature roaming through the circulatory system. Focusing on the lower back, the opening of the hips. Focusing on a sensation of heaviness in the lower body and light weightlessness in the upper torso. It's 1 minute, just over 1 minute here. So feel the changes happening in the body. And again, without expectation, without assumption, without any type of guiding a feeling, just observe and breathe. Taking the last few breaths here. And when you're ready, that's our 2-minute time. Let's slowly roll up. So just tilting the hips backward, keep the knees opening, and inhaling, lift. You can let the knees flutter outward slightly. Oh, sorry, monkey. I'm sorry. And then let's open the legs up, flatten the sole, toes pointing away, and exhale. Windshield wiper, and turning to the opposite side. You can even put a bit of a lift if you want in here, if you want a little bit more of a deeper stretch, and breathe to the opposite side. So inhale when we lift, exhale when we drop, and breathe. Continuing that rhythm. And hello, Mr. Gary Gray. Hope you can see me bright and shiny today. And keep that rhythm, keep that breathing, follow your body, opening all the front of the joints here, the hips, the shoulders, wrists, elbows, everything working its way through the body. Feeling that massage in the lower spine as well. And when you're ready, we're going to line ourselves back up here. Again, get comfortable. Might want to flail the wrists, give them a bit of a shake. And we're not going to come onto the wrists. We are going to use them for balance. If they do feel really sore, if you've got injuries, come down. This is beautiful. You get a little bit more pressure on the lower back here too. Whichever way you find, let's inhale, lift the left leg, lifting it nice and high. If you're sitting up, you can adjust the legs so they're not feeling so tight. And crossing it over. Let's stay here. If you are really exhausted, go ahead and come down. You can hold it in a little bit tight because we're not going to do this position laying down. But I'd like you to kind of just experiment with this sitting position. If you'd like to come into a forward bend as well, feel welcome to come down. Or, as I said, that sitting position. We're targeting the same muscle area as well. So whichever one, whether you're in a prone or a forward bending position or a lifting here. So take your choice, find what works best for you, and breathe. Keep the hip opening. We're going to hold this again for 2 minutes. So another 90 seconds or so. With every inhale, lifting the body wherever you find yourself, lengthening through your spine. And with every exhale, relaxing. And breathe, really focusing on the depth of your breath, knowing that you are stretching not only the hip, the hamstring, the IT band, all those muscles in the leg, around the femur, but you're also stretching with the breath through the internal, that wave, that very powerful sensation of the breath that we totally minimize, and we absolutely do not have the proper sort of honoring for the breath in Western culture, at least, or traditional Western culture, hoping it will evolve. Continuing to find space. So inching or millimetering your way into the pose. Dropping shoulders down wherever you are. Come out wherever you are. And taking your last breath here. So wherever you were, now do come back to the same position that I'm in a sitting position. Take a moment to come back up here. And we're kind of coming to a twist. So bending the opposite leg, we're simply going to let the legs tilt down. And once you're here, take a minute to line up the body. So the toes should be making a straight line with the knee. Hips should be parallel, balanced. If you feel they're not, bring a block or a pillow or something under the opposite leg to give a bit more space. If it's very painful, keep the bottom leg straight and just work on bringing this femur in, okay? Find your position as your body calls for. When you're ready, inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, eyes of the elbows open, tips of the fingers together, and opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Twisting, twirling, spinning, whirling, binding, finding through your legs if you so choose to deepen your pose, and breathing into your body, releasing any places of tightness or tension. The twisting of the spine, the wringing out of the internal organs. Twisting is one of the best things we can do for the body. Moving the spine in all its 9, 12 different sort of regional movements. 4 different lumbars of the region, 4 different regions of the spine. That's about 30 seconds. We'll hold this one for a minute only, a little bit shorter. But those 4 different lumbar regions of the spine both have to move forward and back, side to side, and bending left and right. Taking your last few breaths here. On your next inhale, releasing your arms, your legs, wherever you are, and that upper leg is going to come out and over. And if the lower leg was down, you can bring that lower leg in now, and lining the heel up into the groin. This time, turning the torso, belly faces towards the thigh. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, eyes of the elbows open, tips of the fingers together, a nice straight, lengthening long back. Use your strap and just hover here. This is a wonderful place. Just feel that resistance wherever you may be. Otherwise, exhaling down. And we'll hold this for 1 minute. And again, until you really feel your breath deepening, you can't get into the pose because the stretch doesn't just happen in those external macro tissues of the body. It's happening from inside. And again, that oxygen, the beauty of the breath is, yes, it is circulating on that eternal until it's not, that continuous flow through the circulatory system. So not only is the breath itself, the diaphragm, expanding and contracting, creating space in the body, but we're actually creating space in every cell by increasing our oxygen content. Just common sense, really. Taking your next breath and last breath here. When you're ready, let's inhale all the way up. And exhale, coming back to our butterfly. So just for a moment, let the legs flail. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So do you remember where we started after this, ladies and gentlemen? The other wonderful thing about yoga, of course, is that it becomes a memory practice. Now, in this case, I am devising these yin practices as we go. but there are set routines such as an Ashtanga practice or other more traditional yin practices, although it's quite easy to remember 5 yoga positions compared to a few hundred in an Ashtanga class. Nonetheless, returning to our table position. So feet and toes both pointing away from the head. Inhale, lifting the hips. And again, if you have tight wrists, you are welcome to come down onto the elbows, or even if you're really exhausted or have upper body issues at the moment, just be here. This is fine as well. You're still actually getting a bit of a stretch in the shoulders and in the shoulder blades, as well as, again, that lower back massage. Whichever way you so find yourself, we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So this time, let's take the right leg, lifting it up, pushing into the hands, remembering that first knuckle takes the weight, and exhaling, crossing it over. And here again, find what works for you. Stay sitting, lean back, holding the leg in, or coming forward in a Ardha Paschimottanasana, or in fact, you can come into Ardha Halasana with the half pigeon position. Excuse my Sanskrit. So again, that would look something like coming up and back and holding here, okay? Whichever of those positions you choose, find your edge and prepare to stay here for 2 minutes. So you may have already been here for a little while. That's absolutely fine. The extra few seconds are only going to benefit you. You can curse me when we are holding a warrior or a plank position for those extra few minutes, but the extra few seconds, pardon me, in a yin position is all a gift. Breathing, lifting the upper body, dropping the lower limbs, feeling the heaviness in the joints, feeling the openness in the joints, feeling the depth of what is in your body, not only the DNA on the biochemical level, but also, of course, that collective human experience that has found its habits, its bodily structure, its mental capacity and ability, all within those symmetries and parallel experiences of the human being. Coming back to the breath, reminding yourself you have a balloon in your belly. With every inhale, the balloon gets bigger, the body becomes lighter, lifting you up, up and away, letting go of any tightness or tension, be it physical or mental. And breathe another 30 seconds or so in this position. So again, really feel and push through. As they say with athletes and running, those last few breaths and pushes or crunches or strides or whatever you're doing, really give it all you got, because we got more than we think. Push yourself through, and that, of course, starts to create new neural pathways, new physical abilities, and before you know it, there's our 2 minutes. So if you were prone or supine, please do come back to this sitting position. And on your next exhale, let's simply drop the legs down, keeping them exactly as they were, and lining the toes up with the body. You may need to slightly adjust yourself, tucking those feet in nice and tightly, just like they're going to bed. And keeping the femur up nice and tight. And if this is where you are, stay. It's a wonderful position. You are getting deep stretch. Otherwise, of course, feel free to lengthen the leg. Give a little release. Otherwise, coming into a twist, inhaling arms up, shoulders down. We'll hold this just for 1 minute, opposite elbow to the opposite knee, twisting, using the back arm for a pillar, or finding binding. Use your strap. And breathe here for another 45 seconds or so. Releasing any tension. And again, the twist is a digestive agent. Food and thought. Let it pass, let it go. You would not hang on to your food. You would not digest your food over and over and over again. We are not cows with 4 stomachs. Let it go, let it pass, move on, create space, surrender. It's all a big game. On your next inhale, begin to release the twist, unraveling the spine. Upper leg comes up, up, and away over to the side. And again, if that lower leg was straightened, simply change the two. Okay, and again, however you decide to bring your heel close to you, you could be sitting on the perineum, activating the lower chakra regions. However you so find yourself. We're going to this time belly facing the bent leg or straight leg. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, and forward fold. We will hold this for 1 minute and relax here. And breathe. Working through the pose if you need to. Otherwise, the secret of yin is time, stillness, and finding your edge. The edge being your 70% capacity. The place where you stretch to your limit. And be mindful of where your limit lies. Today, tomorrow, it shall change. If you come back to your body. Otherwise, it will go exactly, probably with the equal amount of force, in the opposite direction. Setting in rigor mortis before it's time. On your next inhale, let's slowly rolling up with a nice tilted back and keep a block, a pillow or something to put in our backs handy. We're gonna come into a reversed position now. And I think we will do this for as long as our quarantine lasts, the reversed positions. Very important to keep that heart center opening. So even if you're one of the lucky ones who is not online all day for at least 12 hours, even the weekends, then you still might be hunched over in a garden or a child or whatever you might be doing. Either way, this is really starting to open up the back body. I like to put mine on the highest. You can go highest, medium, or lowest. And I like to get my shoulder blades right between that spot. If you've got balls, these are fantastic. Again, right in that shoulder blade. It's a bit of magic. Deep fascial release. Talk to Katie Watton for more details. And we're going to hold this for 2 minutes. So again, inching yourself back. And if you have no block or dare not do this, bring your feet up the wall. If you have no wall, dear, call me quickly. Bring your feet up the wall and just relax. So from this moment, we will hold for 2 minutes, adjusting yourself as necessary. Oh. Oh, yeah. It's really, really good. The deeper you breathe, the more you can let go. That's about 1 minute in this position. We're gonna hold for another minute more. By now you feel it, don't ya? Give in, don't hold back. Scan your consciousness through the body. Let go of any sensation you may feel. And enjoy. Taking another deep breath here, and when you're ready, gentle with the neck, using the elbows and even using the hands if you need to lift yourself back up, shifting the weight forward, removing the block off to the side, and we're going to come into a reverse Paschimottanasana, but not before we roll around a little bit. And so rolling around, keeping the knees bent in nice and tight, making sure there's nothing to squash behind you, and stay tucked in really tight. This is going to feel beautiful as you massage that space out. And rock and roll. Oh, something amazing just happened. Popping and cracking and I can't. Oh man, it's really good. And on your next inhale, we're going to come into that slam forward bend Paschimottanasana. The slamming is important. Keep your toes pointed so the heels take the impact. And when you're ready, keeping the legs straight, toes bent, and once you're here, fall into your forward bend. Find your edge, and then coming down. I'm sorry, little princess. Did I slam you awake? And again, we will hold this for 1 minute only. Breathing very deeply. And even here, really rotating those femurs open, pushing the backs of the knee into the ground, but also the backs of the thigh. Feel all of that space. It was just sitting there all your life, and you didn't even know about it until just now. Feel that. Push into that. Holy macaroni. Feel the back of your ankles. Feel the toes moving towards you, heels away from you. Everything is kind of chiropractically being shifted and glided. Another few breaths here. That's almost 1 minute. And now when you're ready, with a nice straight back, arms reaching up, 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 and we're going to come back. Try to stay in a V sitting position. So this L shape, right? So as we come down, try to lift, keep it up, up, and allow it to come back. Good. And again, keep that same V position, or L, I guess. We're in an L position. Okay, arms are reaching forward or above you. And do not bounce, do not jump, do not risk any injury. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Look up at your toes and forward. Look at me only for a demonstration as you start to slowly put your legs back. And wherever you find yourself is where you find yourself. Don't come all the way if it's not comfortable for you.
We are going to hold whatever position you find. Even if you're here, a two-leg raised position is an absolutely beautiful position. Look at that circulation that's coming out of your toes into your organs. Wherever you find yourself, we're going to hold this for 1 minute. Feel the lengthening of the whole back of the body. Taking another 15 seconds or so here. And of course, coming out if you feel discomfort, if you feel lightheaded, if you feel claustrophobic. And when you're ready, slowly starting to unravel the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, and keep the legs up, keep the arms reaching up, and breathe. Feel the pressure in the lower back. Bring your legs down just a little bit. We're not going to do any crazy ab work here, but try to touch the bottom roundedness of your coccyx. So the real tailbone, that little, if we ever did once have a little tail, that's where it would be. Growing right out of your tailbone. So just try to find the edge of that. It's not an abdominal workout, it's a lower back massage, right? It's all perspective. Okay, and then let's take a few circles, nice and small with the legs up, opposite direction. And you feel that nice massage, how powerful, how effective. Make your circles bigger now. Take your time. Don't go quickly. Feel the massage in the lower back. Feel your kidneys getting activated. Feel all those adrenal glands and changing directions. Powerful things happening with pressure. Pressure is healing. Let's put a few little kicks into the legs, really encouraging the blood to drop down to the core. Breathing nice and deeply here. Now we're going to come into a half happy baby and then do a little twist into a frog situation. So start together, legs are straight, or you can have, still want to wake up the little princess here. Sorry, monkey. Okay, I hope you guys can still see me, or verbal explanation may be sufficient. So half happy baby. Let's bring the left leg up nice and tall, long, and bring the left knee towards the left armpit as our first stage. And even here, just etch side to side, left knee facing towards the left armpit, and then left knee aiming towards the right armpit, and just feel that distance. How much travel time in your knee versus how much travel time in your hip joint. But where do you feel the effect? Of course, in your hip. So really find those pockets of space there and roll through that. When you're ready, left armpit and left knee, try to connect, and let's start to lift the lower leg. Use your strap here if you'd like to bring the strap around the leg and have the knee still aiming towards the armpit. Otherwise, outside of the foot, taken by the outside of the hand, and push in towards your armpit. We're going to hold this just for about half a minute or so, or 5 deep breaths. when you're ready, let's have the opposite arm out in a T-shaped position. So I'll demonstrate first. What we'll do is we're going to roll over onto our belly. So we're getting a shoulder stretch up here. And we're going to keep the leg moving outwards, okay? Keep the knee pressing downward. And this is a frog position, or a half frog. So basically our knee is up, kind of out. The inner thigh is pressing into the ground. But here we're also getting a shoulder stretch, right? So again, our arm is out to the side. We're in a half happy baby. Let's just roll over. Keep the arm reaching up. Don't let it compromise. And bring the inner edge of the knee and the inner thigh come in. And putting the weight, turning to the opposite side. Your opposite hand can act as a little bit of a pillow or a leverage, or it can even reach out straight in front of you if you'd like to get a deeper stretch. And try to relax here. We are going to hold this for 1 minute. Now, again, this may be a position where you do not have much availability. Do what works for you. Even if you are still just kind of hovering right around here, hanging on the side, you can even turn it into a bit of a thigh stretch and just kind of rotate. And especially, again, if you do have children or young people, they ought not be holding the positions. You can allow a bit of movement. That's 30 seconds here. We'll hold it for just as long. And if you would like a deeper position, of course, you can start to come into a bit of a cobra and twisting, or imagining both arms are getting pulled and pushing into the outer edges of both sides. But that's for another asana. On your next inhale, let's unravel the twist, coming back to center, slowly unraveling the spine, and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So lifting the opposite leg and starting to just bring the knee into the armpit. You getting the strap or keeping it ready, moving and rotating the knee one direction and the opposite. And again, it's small, subtle movements with very powerful physical effects and mental effects. And remember, of course, yoga is not a physical practice. We are realigning our vibrations through breath and breathing practices. Yoga is ultimately a breathing practice. When you're ready, half happy baby. So armpit, knee come together, bending the lower leg up and pushing into the ground. Opposite hand can get ready, laying at a T out beside us and breathing here. Deep diaphragmatic breathing comes very naturally when we're on our breath, when we're on our back, excuse me. Our breath flows freely, openly. And when you're ready, we'll come into our half frog shoulder stretch. So again, just rounding over, bringing that leg over, almost as if you want to bring the foot to the hand. You can even imagine that. Foot comes to the hand, knee comes to the elbow, and then you start to push the inside of the knee downward and keep the arm outstretched, looping the shoulder, and we will hold this for 1 minute. Relax your body, relax your breath.
30 seconds. By now, already we should feel the phase change in the body. Paying attention to those subtle sensations. We are not trained in our human society to feel those subtleties, but it is where the great shift happens. We are looking for the big explosive firework macro manifestations, but truly it is those small alterations that happen continuously daily. That is where the great celebration ought to occur. On your next inhale, let's unravel the twist, coming back to center, following the upper body and letting the spine come back, bringing both legs up, giving them a bit of a bounce, a few circles, maybe rolling the hips side to side. Now let's put a bit of a pendulum swing, so bending the knees down, arms out to a T, and swinging the knees, trying to get the knees to touch the armpit, and then straightening the legs, toes trying to touch the feet. Again, wherever your body takes you, whatever your availability is today, inhaling and exhale to the opposite side, knees to the elbows, and toes to the fingers, opposite side. Follow your breath, follow your body. This will be our last bit of movement before we come into Shavasana. Oh no, excuse me, pardon me. We will invert. Unless you are menstruating or have neck issues, let's come back to our flat backs, bending our knees up, and inhale, two leg raised. We'll slowly start to drop the feet behind the head. And again, if you're not comfortable coming up, put your legs on the wall or stick a block right here. This is beautiful. You don't need to come up all the way. Trying not to arch your back too much. However you find yourself, inhaling up. Let's hold this for about 1 minute. Taking another few breaths here. And when you are ready, starting to bring the feet back towards the top of the head or the ground above the head, allowing the arms to act as a balance and massage as you exhale, slowly feeling every vertebrae, every muscle connecting with the ground. And as you flatten out, you can squeeze out any ascorbic acid that's causing any pain, tightness. And exhale, coming all the way down. And find yourself in Shavasana. Close your eyes, open your mind, deepen your breath, soften your heart, relax your body. Scan your consciousness through your body. Releasing any tension. effects of the practice on the body. Sure, the shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed. Relax the tips of your toes, the tips of your fingers, the top of the crown of your head. And breathe very deeply. As you feel the weight of your body against the ground, visualize all of your possessions in front of you, everything you own or you have at your disposal in your earthly realm. And now imagine yourself walking, shedding these possessions, leaving each one behind with each step forward, and walk until you have left even the clothes on your back. Still with great relaxation, comfort, confidence, and strength. You have great knowledge of where you best need to go. Breathe into your body. Your body is the only thing you need, the only thing that you truly have that is yours. And even then, upon death, this vehicle is left behind. As you continue to breathe very deeply, letting your heart lift, your body lighten. Letting your thoughts release, whether they are positive or negative, release with every exhale. And keeping your eyes closed. When you are ready, very gently begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Allow your head to turn to the left and to the right. Inhaling, arms overhead, interlace the fingers, stretching down to the left and to the right. Inhaling, legs up, folding yourself in, and again, letting that rocking side to side, up and down, or stillness come into the body. When you are ready, folding to the right side, using the right bicep as a pillow. In this original position, send a moment of magic to those who have helped you. Send your love to those who are suffering. Keep the energy you need for yourself to continue. Reminding yourself that the effects continue long after we have left the mat. On your next inhale, when you are ready, and only when you are ready, gently coming back up with a comfortably seated position. Feeling the effects of the practice on the body, palms facing upward to seek knowledge, facing downward, in a sense of knowing. Find your natural breath. And when you are ready, thumbs to the sternum, feeling the rhythm of your heart in tune with the rhythm of the universe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Atma Namaste. Namaste is a word which means I greet the light within you. As yoga recognizes, we all have the light within us. And may I remind you, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotions. You are the eternal, what was, what always will be. Through